we are decoding what Prime Minister Modi spoke at TV9 Network's flagship Thought Summit, WITT. I'm being joined by Major General Rajan Cocher as well as Amit Kotari. Amit Kotari, what do you make out of what Prime Minister spoke? What are your key takeaways?
I think one of the key takeaways that he mentioned is, whose side India really is on. And he categorically mentioned that, India is on India's side, and we've demonstrated with our sort of strategic multi-alignment policy, where we are actually not taking sides here. We're not siding with either Israel or the United States or the GCC states or Iran. I mean, without any formal sort of alignment, we have been able to secure our energy security. We've been able to ensure that our vessels are getting sort of the freedom of navigation, and at the same time, the 10 million circa people working within the GCC are also provided that sort of protection. So what I think Prime Minister Modi is basically demonstrating through this heft diplomacy is that we have economic resilience, and at the same time, we are avoiding any sort of militarily conflicts or being shown as taking sides in this sort of a chaotic atmosphere. India is weathering the chaos much better than a lot of people would have actually estimated or forecasted when this war actually started on the February of 28th. Yes, of course, we do have our short-term spikes of fear. The LPG prices or the fertilizer pressures, that will create some sort of a pressure point. But just as Major General Cocher basically pointed out, that that is where we will need to ensure that domestically we're either looking at methods to mitigate them by domestic exploration or by enhancing our storage capacities. We have diversified our sources quite willfully, and luckily, those are basically paying back the dividends. The fact that we've diversified our LPG and LNG sources to Canada and Australia, so the spot purchases did help us with the shutdown that we saw in Qatar, and with the facilities in Qatar and Saudi Arabia now being pushed back. The production capacity is being pushed back. We will have to diversify further, maybe even look at West Africa as a potential source. But the one place where I think India does get hit is the Chahabar port and the INSCTC corridor. I think those are still going to see a little bit of risk from future perspective of any sort of facilitation from that perspective. So I think that economic corridor, goes to hit from a short-term perspective until and unless, we find some sort of a resolution to this Middle Eastern chaos. Sneha.
Right, Amit Kotari. In fact, just give us a few minutes. Let's just very quickly listen into what PM Modi did speak about the war in West Asia, and of course, how he backed the theme that the TV9 network has chosen, India and the world.
पिछले कुछ समय में मुझे एक दो बार TV9 भारतवर्ष देखने का मौका मिला है। नॉर्मली भी युद्धों और मिसाइलों पर आपका बहुत फोकस होता है। और आजकल तो आपको कंटेंट की ओवरफीडिंग हो रही है। बड़े बड़े देश TV9 को इतना सारा कंटेंट देने पर तुले हुए हैं। गल्फ से लेकर ग्लोबल वेस्ट तक, ग्लोबल साउथ से लेकर पड़ोसी देशों तक, भारत सभी का ट्रस्टेड पार्टनर है। कुछ लोग पूछते हैं हम किसके साथ हैं, तो उनको मेरा जवाब यही है कि हम भारत के साथ हैं। हम भारत के हितों के साथ हैं, शांति के साथ है, संवाद के साथ है। साथियों, संकट के इसी समय में जब ग्लोबल सप्लाई चेन डगमगा रही है, भारत ने डाइवर्सिफिकेशन और रेजिलियंस का मॉडल पेश किया है। एनर्जी हो, फर्टिलाइजर हो या एसेंशियल गुड्स, अपने नागरिकों को कम से कम परेशानी हो, इसके लिए भारत ने निरंतर प्रयास किया है और आज भी कर रहे हैं।
Major General Cocher, just a very quick question here. When Prime Minister Modi says that it's vital and it's crucial to discuss India and the world, it's also about how India has positioned itself with its defense preparedness that really matters in a very changing, fast changing geopolitical scenario. How India is prepared and how India is positioning itself. It's not just about diplomacy, it's also about preparedness and showing its might militarily. How would you look at that?
That's a very interesting perspective you've asked me, because I've been associated a lot into this sector of defense preparedness, 37 years in the army, on handling ammunition and weapons and equipment. And thereafter, in my retired life also, I've been associated with various organizations which are dealing with this subject. So I would like to assure the nation that India is moving on a very good trajectory. It's a difficult path. It's not an easy path, because technology is a major issue as far as we are concerned. And 3 days back, I was in a defense technology seminar organized by the Economic Times, and we were deliberating upon this important aspect, that how can we get technology ourselves, the homegrown technology, without being dependent on all countries. You see today, you have to understand the problem of this energy dependency. It's almost 85%. We really don't have much choices. So it is extremely important. And Mr. Kotari also mentioned that it's very important to have our own infrastructure available. And the same I would like to talk about defense preparedness. We have to invest in our private sector slightly more, because today, though government in the capital budget has said that 75% of this will go to domestic industries, but only 25% is reserved for the private sector and 75% for the public sector. So through your channel, I would like to appeal to the government that the private sector needs to be involved much more into the defense capabilities, because they can deliver faster for us, and at least 50% of the domestic budget has to be reserved for them. Because unless we do that, we'll be playing up a catching game, and China is going far ahead from us. So I would conclude my argument to say that trajectory is good. A lot of defense reforms have taken place, FDIs have improved, and we are getting the defense ecosystem into the country. We are also encouraging the DRDO also to collaborate with the IITs and the civil academia, and getting that kind of technology into the country. But definitely, I would like to sum up by saying the private sector needs greater focus.